This monument here, Ted and I were talking about the clinic, and we were talking about the issue of organics and non-organics building up on the surface of the stone. There's various marbles out there. The hardest marble in the world is used on the Taj Mahal in India, but then you have other limestone or marble monuments which are not as hard as that stone, and over time, and I have a sheet back there, it basically goes into descriptions of the different types of stone, but over time the reaction of the organics and soots and impurities on the surface of the stone have an effect, and the pores start opening up. You can see here the buildup and reaction of your salts and impurities on the surface of the stone, and this is not good. They will wear away if you use the eraser, or even with the deionized water approach, or this process I used with the alcohols. But what I did was, this stone basically, on this side of the stone here, looked like this. And the initial process here was the reaction. If you look over on this side, this is the organic material right now starting to die off. And it's basically, I wouldn't have to do anything. Over time it would just continue to slough off. But you can see that is all the gook that was down in that stone, and you can see the reaction of it. That would look like this, and then it goes to this point.
And what again did you do to treat that?
I'm using 5 alcohols and an emulsifier. It's a mix I have that I put on there that gets into the pores of the stone and basically kills, but it's not harmful to the ground around there. I was at a cemetery and they were using Clorox, and it's the worst thing you could use on a stone. It has a lot of salts, and it's like when you walk around a walk after a heavy winter, you'll see the effervescence that's the result of that. But the problem, this salt is very detrimental to the surface of the stones. But again,
what could one use commercially that we can't mix the 5 elements of alcohol?
Deionized water is.
That's it?
That's great stuff.
Yeah, I'm not saying it is.
No. I'm saying that's good, because what I'll show you here, that with basic water.
You could also check the National Park Service preservation briefs. They have a number of them on stone conservation. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're dealing a lot with the BA markers, and they actually have clinics, and they're not cheap, but they're worth going to. So if you have an organization that is, I'm sorry. So basically here, I'm loosening that up just with deionized water. Did I bring my sponge?
Deionized water, the same as distilled water?
Yes. Yeah, the same. I had a sponge.
What
Did
kind
I
of
hand that to
sponge,
somebody? It's just a tight, should be down there, I guess, on the table.
And why deionize as opposed to just plain water?
I've been told that just by having your dehumidifier, it takes some of the stuff that's in there out of there. Yeah.
Yeah, salts and minerals, anything that would be in water.
And then, it's not cheap. You can buy the water at your drugstore.
Yeah. They say you're supposed to use it in your steam irons. I've always used it in my steam irons, but I've never gotten
Right, exactly.
Like you get buildup on the bottom of your iron. That's the salty stuff coming out of the pipes in your ground. And if you just put distilled water in the iron, you'll never get any buildup like that, because there's nothing going in.
Exactly, and there's a lot of things in the water that we don't want to know about in some cases, but again, and I'm glad for the clarification of you, because I've just always was told that the deionized water was a good approach just to, and you can see here, that's just deionized water. You see the result? See all that coming off? And that's pretty free.
So rainwater is not doing that. Just regular rainwater.
Rainwater has impurities in it, and that's getting on the stone because it's coming down and
Through the pollutants. Okay.
acid rain, other sorts of items. There's problems with your trees, and so you have your organic, your saps, other items that are settling on there. The other beauty is that you can be scrubbing away and you think you're not getting anywhere, but with this, with a simple, and again, it's probably good to wear glasses, but it's just strong enough that it takes away some of that buildup there. This stone will be much better off with the result of even just going this far. The other aspect, as I mentioned, is then following up with a brush and doing it a couple times. I encourage cemeteries that are in areas where there are a lot of pollutants, just going around and with your scouts or whatever and washing them down. The key to keep in mind is that you'll start removing some of these items and you may notice a hairline crack or whatever, and that's where you might want to address the conservation needs of that. But by going methodically along it, doesn't take forever, you can basically improve the integrity of the monument itself, and also, God forbid, if there's a serious problem, by going about it this process, you'll uncover a problem that can be dealt with instead of not knowing about it. What I do with the emulsifiers is that, and this is a process I learned when I was in Sweden, is putting various levels of this alcohol on, and the process works a little bit quicker than the deionized water. And my concern is that somebody said, well, just go ahead and sell this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get in the process of mass marketing, or like somebody does mustard or something like that. My goal is to take on projects where you can get large groups of people involved, disciples, and then they can go out and do it. One of the things I'm doing for Allentown Presbytery Church is that I'm going to be treating a lot of the stones, and then we have a crew of people going along with brushes, and we're following up, because a lot of it is whether you have the product or not, or even with the deionized water. You have to put that on there, and you have to have somebody following up with your brushes to loosen it up, and then you come back the next day and do the process of removing some of that buildup there. But it takes time. It's not instantaneous, but it's a far sight better than leaving the stone alone. You can also look, if you come over to this side of the stone, I've loosened this up. You can see, which wasn't noticeable, see how all this organic material is reacting to the water, and it's shown all that green? You wouldn't know that, but that's, a lot of this is living, breathing entity on the surface there that you wouldn't know. So just by using your brushes on that surface alone, that starts loosening them up, and then they will slough off.